Well, hey, everybody, this is Steve Miller, better known as Kelly's dad and marketing gunslinger. Thanks for joining me again this week for another uncopyable rambling. That's exactly right. You know what? This week I decided that and it's kind of come from a point of frustration, I guess I would say, is that, I get a lot of emails from businesses, primarily B2B companies, who either my name has been on the attendee list at some type of trade show or conference or something like that, or somehow they've gotten my name through some type of industry event that I've been involved in. And so I get all of these emails because these people seem to think that I am a potential customer for them, which of course I'm not a customer for any of these people, right? But I was looking through, and I have it set. I have a filter set up to where it goes into where when it comes from a company that I'm not really connected with or anything like that. They all go into one big filter, and then periodically I look through them just to see, okay, are these any good? Are these emails any good? And you know what? I just pulled out like a list from the last couple of weeks, and I'm looking through this, and you know what? There are so many terrible email marketing mistakes in here that I have to share some of the mistakes with you. So I'm going to stick with the practical this week, and I'm going to talk with you about 3 different areas of email marketing that the vast majority of companies who are out there who are using email marketing making terrible mistakes about, and so that means it's probably you you're also making these mistakes as well. So let me talk about these very quickly, and I got to keep my reading glasses on because I'm going to read some of these just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. Now you notice I'm not even inside the emails. I'm just looking at the where they're from and what the subject lines are. And that's what the first 2 tips are about. Okay, so tip number 1 is all about nonsensical or rhetorical email subject lines. Now, for example, here are actual subject lines that I've received in the last couple of weeks. Number 1, think of us in 2017. We're thinking about you! ! Okay. Let's see. Here's another one. Comparing apples to apples. Stop paying more. Here's another one. Let's see. Everything you need, all in one place. Machine the impossible. Productivity now. Predictable payments later. Okay. Why would I ever open the email that has these as the subject lines if I don't know who you are and I don't have a relationship with you? And the vast majority of these, and oh, by the way, this is kind of another tip that I'm throwing in here, the vast majority of these are from companies. They are not from people at companies. Now remember this, we don't do business with companies, all right? So we do business with people. So I'm going to say that of the lists that I've gotten the last couple of weeks, I'd say 90% of them are from a company, not from a person at that company. Okay. Here's a second one is the type, not just the nonsense and rhetorical types of questions in the subject lines, but the second mistake in subject lines is the only person who cares about what you're saying in here is you. All right. So for example, see, news from ABC Manufacturing. All right. I'm obviously censoring the name of the companies to protect the naive. News from ABC Manufacturing. Your February edition of ABC's newsletter is here! ! Why would I open these? Why do I care? Right? Only you care about this stuff. I don't care about these. So why should I open these emails? See, you have to think about when you get emails in your list, or in your email software program, your app, and you go in there. One of the first things that you do is you look to see who they're from, who it's from. Now maybe you have filters for friends and peers and people like that, but but if you don't, then you go into the general email box inbox and you look at the list of names where they're from. And if they are people that you know, then you automatically will go in and open them up. Or I should say, people that you know and like and maybe trust. You will open those up. If you don't know who it is, then you'll go over to the subject line. And you will read the subject line. Now, and when you go down the subject line, if it's nonsense, if it's rhetorical, if it's deceptive, if it's just about you, the company who is sending the email, if it's just about you, they're not going to open it. Okay? They're not going to open it. They're going to click delete very, very quickly. See, we open emails that are of interest to us. That's what we do. We open emails, and the subject line is so important. It's like the headline in a newspaper newspaper article. Is that if the headline does not attract you in that newspaper, you do not read the rest of it. Or the headline, or on if you go on LinkedIn and you read through Pulse articles, if the headline of that Pulse article does not cause you to say, hey, that looks interesting, I need to read that, you're not going to read it if it's not like that. Same thing with the emails that you're sending out. If the subject lines are not interesting, if they are not pertaining to the customer that you're trying to talk to or the prospect that you're trying to talk to, if it's not of interest to them, they're not going to open it. So stop just email blasting out to 100,000 people, and hoping that some of it sticks. Because if you're writing crappy subject lines, you deserve crappy open rates. All right. Now, which brings me into the third one. So like I say, is you've got subject lines. Number one tip is subject lines that are nonsense, rhetorical, stuff like that. Subject lines that are only about you and only you care about. All right. And then the third one is, okay, if I do happen to open up and go inside here and I read something of interest, the vast majority of links that you're putting in are links to your homepage. Now, let's say you are talking in here about something specific. You're talking about, I don't know, a CNC machine or something that if you're in the manufacturing world, or you're talking about a specific type of candy, maybe if you're in the confectioner's industry. And then you say, click this link for more information. And the link takes you to the homepage, which is the general homepage for your company. No, they don't want to go to a homepage. They want to go straight to a page that is about the information that they are interested in. So the third biggest mistake I see in emails from corporations is that they are not sending people to a specific landing page that is connected to the topic that person has an interest in. Now, you could send them to a landing page that, say, within your website that is about that specific topic, and that's all well and good, and you'll get good analytics. You can get good analytics from that, but make sure that you're setting up your retargeting pixels too, so that you know when they're coming. All right, you're able to check those stats out and those analytics, stuff like that. So number one, subject line is nonsense. All right, you're trying to be cute, you're trying to be clever, rhetorical. Stop it. Number two, it's all about you. The subject line is all about you. Stop it. All right, nobody's interested in you but you. The prospects are only interested in their own situation. They're interested in fixing their situation. They're interested in taking care of problems, taking care of pain. Talk to them from their perspective, okay? And number three is set up a specific landing page for people to go to from the email, okay? That's enough. This is Steve Miller, better known as Kelly's Dad and Marketing Gunslinger. Thanks for joining me again this week. And I will be back again next week with another, crazy episode of Uncopyable Ramblings and Uncopyable Business. Thanks for joining me. And those of you that are on the C-Suite networks, listening to this on C-Suite Radio, thank you very much for joining me. And see you in a couple of weeks in Dallas, too. All right? So thanks, everybody. Always remember, be uncopyable. Go get my book.